All right, everybody. Hey, it's Mario with Motorcycle Knuckle Busters, and we're back with you another episode. And I got a great guest today. Really looking forward to this one. Um, this, I think, is going to be kind of unique because we've got somebody who is special to the industry, who has really been a voice for this industry for many, many years, and I believe 25 years now. And so we thought we'd have a little fun and turn the tables on this person, and we're going to interview them, and we're going to find out a little bit more about them, kind of what makes them tick, and why they love doing what they do. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce Gina Woods.
Hey, hi there, Mario. How are you, man?
I'm great. It is so good to see you.
It's so
So
great to see you and to be interviewed by you. Wow, I took a year last year to interview you, and now you're interviewing me.
I love it. I just love turning the tables and stuff like
I
that. And
love
I'm just
turning the tables too. Isn't that fun?
so let's tell people kind of why we talked about this, and you're celebrating how many years now of Open Roads Radio?
Wow, 25 year of Open Road Radio Incorporated. Um, yeah, we were just going to start it to talk about motorcycles in a garage like studio and with friends, and never thought it would go this far, this long. But, I never got tired of talking, and, I never shut up. So,
No, and everybody that knows you, including me, knows that that's the truth. But you know what? The thing is, at least when you're talking, it's interesting. It's about our
uh,
industry. It's about motorcycles. It's about two wheels. And you've covered every subject. I mean, you'll talk to people about builds, races, events, riding, charities, all these different things. And I love the fact that you've been a voice for this for 25 years, a quarter of a century. And I just want to tell you, congratulations. We're proud of you. And I'm really proud to be, just one of the people that I know I consider you a friend, and I hope you can look at me the same way, because I consider it an absolute honor.
Oh my God. Well, after last year, a little bit the year before, we just really hit it off. I was so glad that you lived so close. And I was like, oh my God, we got to ride. It's like, I don't even know this guy, but he lives right down the road, like up in Wisconsin. And let's just see if he wants to go for a ride. And I think I asked you a couple of times, and a couple of times we were trying to get together and didn't. And then we really got closer last year. And then you moved.
Well, and actually a little bit closer, so we're all good.
Yeah.
So what? So we'll either be jumping, we'll go do some riding. I'll either jump on one of the bar hoppers, or I'll jump on one of the cruisers or something like that.
Absolutely. No matter what we jump on, we'll have a great time for sure. We know
Absolutely.
a lot of people in these areas, and there's a lot of places to go and visit for us.
Yeah, and exciting because we're starting to get on the other side of winter. We're coming in the spring. I know you're gearing up. I'm gearing up. I'm ready to ride. I mean, there's been some days we've been able to take some short runs. It's been warm enough. Not a big fan of coming out before the salt's really cleared all off the roads and stuff, because I just get concerned about it on the wiring and everything else. But you just got to get out there, right?
I know. I'm telling you, at the end of February, March is really when you start getting itchy, right? You start getting
Absolutely.
itchy. I can really start feeling it this time of the year. And it's just, we got a couple of 45-degree days, and to us, that's just like heat wave. Let's go ride.
Yes, it
So
is.
that's what we do, seriously. So,
Which
I mean, that's how it is up here.
So, Gina, I kind of want to just, talk about you and your career. And I want to start out, so I'm going to pop up this picture here, and tell me where you're at here.
Oh my gosh, are you going to surprise me all through this?
Yeah.
um, so that was actually taken last year. That was downtown Chicago. That was at the planetarium. So the
Right.
planetarium looks right out to the lake, and you can see across Chicago. That was really cool. We did a photo shoot with a company that I used to work with. So that was actually really cool. That's one of my favorites. That was on my that's on my street light. That's on my O 03. And
Okay.
I got a couple other in the stalls, but yeah, she rides like a raped ape. That bike has never disappointed me. I have run out to Sturgis on a whim. I've run out to Sturgis for a wedding in July that I left. I found out 2 days before, and I said, "Yeah, hell yeah, I'll come." And it was with some of my antique um, motorcycle friends, and I ran out there on that one because
Sure.
I knew I had to get there fast, and I didn't take the. I think the other one was probably being rebuilt. But yeah, so I ran out there, and then she's been amazing too. I
Well,
picked her up a couple years ago. I got her at a great price. It's something I didn't even really expect to. It's just when you see it and you just go, bam, this is a bike for me. I'm going to pick this one up. And she runs like a great tape. I couldn't be more happier with her.
I love it. And the reason I wanted to show Chicago in the background, so for those of you who don't know, Gina does hail from Chicago, and you're from Chicago, correct?
Yeah, so I've done the radio show at several different stations around Chicago, WCKG downtown, The Bear, Will Rock, one that you'll probably be more familiar with.
Yep, I've done some things with Will Rock through the years for
Yeah,
sure. So,
absolutely. They've got a great format. So yeah, what a great town, and especially to do something like that. I
so
think I left my house about 4:30 in the morning and got down there just as the sun was coming up, and that happened to be one of the times where it was coming up, and it was just the perfect setting.
that's awesome. So being raised in Chicago, I mean, we all call it the Windy City. We all, we know that the weather isn't always the best and everything else. So what brought you to motorcycles? Now you went to journalism school at Columbia.
I did. Well, I went to the University of Texas, and then I finished up in Columbia, and it was very hands-on. And I worked at B90, or I interned at B96, WXRT, and I got my first job at US 99. And then I hung out there for about 4 years, and I learned so much. Yeah, I loved US 99. That was a great place to start my career. And then I went over to a station, and they had me be a interim general manager. Um, and the manager coming in from New York, he had asked me. I said, I got this great idea, and I want to start a radio show. I spoke with another gal that was doing it out of NIU, and she was doing kind of something similar, thinking about doing a show. So we did a year's worth of research on, would you listen to AM or FM? Would you listen to AM or PM? What would you want to hear about motorcycles? We did about a year's worth of research, and he said, look, I got an opening in 2 weeks, and it happened to be on January 2nd, which is my birthday. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, you don't say no when you have that opportunity. And that was in 1997, and I've never looked back.
So let me ask you something. Where did the love of motorcycles come from?
Oh, wow. When I was about 14, no, maybe about 10 years old, my uncle Mike, I lived in Wheaton, Illinois, and my West Chicago. My uncle Mike came and picked up my mom, and they went riding, and that sound of that bike, I was like, oh my God, I was hooked. And so I asked if I could go, and my mom said, no, not until you're a teenager. And then he came and picked me up like a year later and let me go riding with him.
And in the early 70s, I mean, that's when bikes were bikes. That's when guys were chopping them. That's when, there was, that was a beautiful time in the world of bikes. That
He had an
from
early sports. He had an Ironhead Sportster. Yep, had two of them up until just a couple of years ago. Yeah, I mean, he put so much into those bikes. They were you would never get the money out of them that he put in. They were old Ironhead Sportsters. They were what were the first ones called? When they got bought out, and Harley bought them back. AT.
Oh, when they from AMF.
AMF. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So, um, yeah, and ever since then, I was just hooked. Went to college in Austin, Texas, and went out with a guy named Dirt, and his motorcycle got to our location a half an hour before we did. He had such a long front end on that thing. And, and we would be on a stop sign, and parents and kids would roll their windows up. I mean, when I say his name was Dirt, that's what he looked like. And I probably didn't look any better. Yeah, be the college girl, and I was the groupie girl. Um, oh my God, it's just too funny. That was, just back in the day when bikers were still the taboo, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So as far as the journalism, so when did that come into play? When did you know that that was going to be, also a path for you?
You know what? I always wanted to be. I was in the Wicked Witch of the West, but I was little. I was in grade school, very small, and I got to be the witch, and I wanted to be an actress. And if I couldn't be an actress, then I wanted to be on the radio. So I kind of started out at both, and then I really started to love radio. I really started to love radio, and I didn't know if I wanted to sing on radio, if I wanted to talk on radio, but I was always a news junkie. I mean, I just love to watch the news. I love to watch NASCAR because I like to see the sponsors. I like just to watch and see what's happening. I always want to know what's happening and be on the top of it. So, um, and then motorcycles was love. So I started in radio, and a girl that I knew, or a friend of mine actually, Santo, he said, there's another gal going to NIO, that's doing this motorcycle show she wants to start. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, wow. So if I put my passion and my career together, maybe something could come of it. It could work. And wow, it did. That's how we got into meeting each other and talking. And her name was Chris Tiger Lady. And a lot of people know her. She was a journalist, motorcycle journalist, with Lee Parks, back with the Motorcycle Consumer News.
Yep.
And she did some funky calendars of guys on motorcycles, and they were like in different costumes and stuff. So she was a trip, and we started the show together.
That's incredible. So I want to pull up this other picture. Tell me about this one here.
Oh my gosh!
So
So
94.3 motorcycle talk radio. So
that was the Bear in Arlington Heights,
okay.
and that is Denise. They were from High Heels and Stilettos, I think was their name. Anyways, I still talk to both of them on Facebook. Then there's Biker Bob, and then me in the middle, and then to the left of me is Jim Viverito, major fun abate. He was the president of abate of Chicago for a while, and then he was with AMA in Ohio.
Okay.
Um, and then that's Ginny. She was one of the heels and stilettos and heels, something like that. It was a women, and they put out a magazine, and they came and did some events in Chicago. They stayed at the house here. Um, yeah, that was really fun. That was the Bear, Thursday nights, 8 to 9. Wow,
No, I love that.
you're
No, I
taking
just
me back.
well, good. I'm glad. That's what we wanted to do. So we wanted to kind of take everybody else back a little and give them a little bit of insight.
Oh
So
my gosh, that's
so
awesome. 94.3.
for me, I see you at rallies. I see you at fundraising events. I see you at rides. I see you, at the big shows, in Chicago, stuff like that. You're kind of Johnny on the spot, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know for how long, but definitely not another 25 years. But yeah, and yeah, we're getting ready to hit down to Daytona. Um, yeah, it's a passion. I love what I do. I like to get the news. I like to
Yep.
get the information. The moto family that I've I've come to love and be able to have the opportunity to be with at these events like you and that awesome event that we had in Vegas recently. Um, that's God, I just cherish those times. That was just a fabulous time, and thank you for having me.
Oh, that was a good time. I really enjoyed that. So I want to pull up another picture. So we got a picture of you here.
Oh my gosh. That was your very early radio days. That was in 97. So that's when I
Yeah.
started the radio show.
So besides motorcycles, what other kind of things, formats did you work in radio in the early days?
So, well, I did B96, which was the alternative, not alternative back then. That was what was that? Uh, that was
Well, 92.1's been it for a long time, but
yeah. B96 is kids, teenager,
gotcha.
early college stuff. And then US 99, country and western. So I had
Okay.
just left country and western, and then I went to 103.1, which ended up being Kiss FM,
Right.
and it's where I started the radio show.
Okay.
Yeah, it started out in a basement in Skokie, Illinois. That's where the there was an upstairs and down. They had the downstairs studios. Yeah, I've been at some great studios.
So, you've done things like Laconia, you've gone to obviously Sturgis, Daytona, you've been to so many events through the years. Is there a particular event that you yourself find most enjoyable, or is it just a collective? I mean,
Yeah,
some people have their preferences.
I probably have to say it's collective. When you have so many great friends with Charlie St. Clair from Laconia, who I just adore. I had such a great time with him. He's done my show many times, and then he did his own radio political show for a while. So he's a trip when he comes on. He's a fun interview. And then that's for Laconia, and then you've got all the people in Sturgis that I've done live broadcasts with at Broken Spoke,
Yep.
the original Broken Spoke with Jay Ellen. Oh my God. And then Daytona back in the day with Billy Lane and his first Darcy Betlock.
Yep.
When they first did their stuff at Ross Myers, when none of that pavilion stuff was even their stuff. So yeah, I mean, I could never say which is a favorite. I think just being around the people that you love and your passion is probably my favorite.
So I was wondering, 25 years of doing this. I mean, have you ever given thought how many people you've actually spoken to?
No, do you know when I started? I have cassette players that we would record it on. And then I have MP3, those little ones. And then I have CDs. Oh, I think first ones were 8 tracks. I think I have 8 tracks from when
No way.
I
Oh my
swear to
gosh.
God. And all of these boxes are up in my attic. And one of these days, God forbid, I would just love to. God, I would love to just put them all together and just, have like one series. I know that a girlfriend of mine, Sharon Mann, has asked me if I could find her uncle, David Mann, when I interviewed
Yep.
him. Oh my God, that was a trip because it was just like, yeah, man. I mean, I got some really interesting. It was like interviewing Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
God,
I
that's
mean,
so
one
much
of
fun.
these days, I would love to have that opportunity. If I could find a really easy way to download all of these and
Sure.
put them in some type of I mean, literally, I've got 8 tracks, and I probably got some reel to reel because when I was at radio stations early on, I did a community service program and a community affairs program, and it was all reel to reel back then. I would tape on reel to reel. I would edit out every and everything. So it was like a half an hour show that I would edit for like 3 hours.
So let's talk a little bit about the guests through the years. I mean,
Oh gosh.
obviously you've had a lot of guests. You've had a lot of, we're both in this industry. We know how many characters there are. I think we could probably, people probably consider us characters of our own, but, um, tell me some of the people that have stood out to you through these years.
Well, certainly David Nat
Yes.
and Evil Knievel, Robbie Knievel, um, Lorenzo Lamas, Branscombe. Oh my gosh, some of the women. Oh, the gal that's a country singer, she rides with the big red hair. uh,
Reba?
no, not Eva. Her and her mom were singers.
Oh, yes.
The Judds,
Um, eh,
right?
the Judds.
Yes. Gosh, there's so many I've forgotten their names. How silly. Bill Willington, Jay Leno. Um,
So
wow.
how was Leno?
Leno was a trip. I have to send you my demo. He's still on my demo. And I used that demo to get into so many radio stations with my show. It always worked. Wait till you hear it. I'm going to send it to you tonight.
Okay, I'd love to see that. So
It's like a 3-minute demo. It's only audio, but it's great. It's
okay,
really funny.
yeah. I mean, that's the most important thing. It's just
Yeah,
the communications, his reaction and everything else. So
just
um,
amazing. And then all of the charities, Sarah Liberty, the veterans. Wow. And with a lot of the show came a lot of the events,
sure,
obviously. And we built 6 all-women bike builds for the XX Chrome charity. I
yep.
had Laura Clock and Jody and Sarah and Kim Jordan as my bike builders. Um, they've all gone on to do amazing things in motorcycling, and we built bikes and we raffled them off for charities. Um,
And I'm
God,
glad you brought that up because I did want to bring up, the fact that, you and the ladies have band together, for a number of years and we're building charity bikes. And, this was done in a time when that just wasn't as evident. And I
it
think
wasn't.
really you and those ladies were trailblazers because look how many women are out there now building bikes. You
Yeah.
know, they you inspired. And I told people, one of the greatest things you can do is you can inspire others to do great things. Okay. And it doesn't, even the smallest things, when it's something that's outside of your comfort zone or redefining boundaries, okay, that's a great thing. And my goodness, you've done that. I mean, Gina, we're on here right now because in many ways you've inspired me. And so I think the
Oh,
inspiration of what you have done to this industry goes far beyond the interviews. It's far beyond the conversations and with various celebrities and whatnot. But it's the body of work that you've brought. And so tell me, the builds. I know you're building one now, aren't you? And you've been working on it for a little while.
yeah. So we had some people like Athena Ransom, and I think she's going on this. She's going on the Route 66 ride that
Yep.
Karen's putting together, and we just got Harley Davidson to sponsor that. Gypsy is going to be on that as well as the mechanics. Joanne Bortles was involved back in the day. And, I feel like I got ripped off because now when chicks are building bikes, there's all kinds of fanfare. And it's like, we didn't have Facebook and we didn't have, I don't even know if we had cell phones back then. We probably, maybe we're just getting cell phones, but, there was just so much stuff that we didn't, it was all radio. I mean, like real radio. And that's how you advertised what you were doing or had a magazine. Dave from Easyrider did a early spread on us, which was awesome. I've been meaning to call him and see if he wants to do a 25-year one. But yeah, those were really great times. We just were going to put some girls up there and try to take it to NAPFA, and try to get some kind of discovery uh, channel and maybe a segment out of it or promo. And we just thought we'd throw some women on stage and do it at a rally and entertain people. And oh my God, the response we got, I wasn't expecting. People were crying. They were like, oh my God, this is so awesome. This is so inspiring. And I'm like, oh. I was like, wow, didn't expect that. And, people were coming up to us, and guys and women and kids, and taking pictures with us. And I was like, wow, I did not see that coming. We were doing it for entertainment, and I wanted to raffle the bike off and, give it to, some charity. And it really opened my eyes. So we did another 6 after that. We raised $23,000 the last one we did for the Her Project, Honor, Encourage, Recognize Women in the Military. So I think that one might have got a little fanfare because I think we were in the social mediums at the time. So
right. Yeah.
Oh,
so you've seen a lot of changes. So let's talk about the changes. I mean,
oh my God.
here we are, we're talking today, and as we're talking, this is going to go out on Facebook. This is going to go out on a bunch of different platforms and everything else. What do you think's been the most significant change that you've seen that's changed the landscape of what you do?
So going into a studio, obviously I'm in my office. It would be mandatory if we were doing an interview to be in a studio. That's the only way you would do it. And it would only be by phone. All of your guests would be by phone or in the studio. You would talk to callers only. It was always call 1-800 open road, now. And now it's, you're just watching all the comments on the side. Boy, what a lot of changes. You can just give your sponsors so much more these days. You can give the charity so much more. You can advertise it more. You can raise more money for the charity. Yeah, it's great. We would send flyers all over. I have these open road radio cards, and we would have for each event, we would have them printed, especially for that event, and we would take them everywhere for 6 months, and we don't have to do that anymore.
No.
It's very true. A lot of the legwork is taken off these days. So talk about a lot of changes. Really a lot. I mean, swearing, you got to watch everything.
Yes, we do.
Bob Seger and Indian Larry. Oh my God, I almost got kicked off radio and then when I was interviewing them on radio. And Chris Kelly will tell you. So
that's phenomenal. So
yeah, it's really changed a lot.
So I want to pop up another picture here for you.
Oh my goodness.
So I love this picture, love the lighting, everything else. But you know what? Like the bike. Yeah. I love the bike. So why don't you tell us about the bike?
So that is actually a guy's bike that I was dating, and he had the one, and I had I think that's a 53. I think that's a 53. I really have to see it closer. So we were going to the movies, and we were right in front of the movie theater, and I was parking this bike, and he was parking the other bike, and he said, "Hey, let me get a picture of that." So we were at this very old school, one of my favorite movie theaters in Elmhurst, Illinois, very classic. The piano would come up in the middle of the stage, and it would start playing. And that was the beginning of your movie. And then it would go into the movie, and the piano would go back down into the ground. It was just really cool. So riding old bikes to that was just a phenomenal day. I just had a great time that day, and just ended up going to a movie at the end of the day on old bikes.
So now I got to ask, is that theater still there?
It is still there.
And the piano still comes up out of it?
The piano is gone. They took it out about 8 or 9 years ago. It was my favorite, but it's still one of my favorite theaters.
I was going to say, let's jump on the bikes and go. Let's see. Let's go see it. I don't care what movie it is. I want to see the piano coming up out of the ground.
Very
that's too cool.
Very classic, and it was just fitting to take a picture of the classic bikes in front of that. I've actually got a couple of different. I've got one in color that you can actually see the movie theater behind that scene.
That's phenomenal. I love that. That's such a great story. And I love tidbits of information like that. So now the next picture I want to pull up, I think,
Oh my God.
so who are these little ones here?
So that is my granddaughter Ava and Leah, granddaughters Ava and Leah.
Okay.
And that lake is at the end of my block.
All
I
right.
live on a dead end, and I've got 3 lakes back there. I live in this subdivision, and it's off Route 83, but it's back, and like we've got 3 lakes, and it's all forest preserve, so it's kind of really fun.
So now how many grandchildren? It's just the 2, or do you
Yes,
have
those
more?
2, those 2,
Okay.
and so there they are, probably 1 and 3, 1 and
Oh,
2. And now they are 10 and 8.
10
So
and
it's a
8.
little dated.
Okay. So is there any food in the basket?
Um, yes, I'm sure there was snacks. So we were on a photo shoot that day, and my daughter always did photo shoots with the girls. And yeah, I'm sure we had some snacks in there.
So now,
Whenever you have kids, you got to have snacks.
so I got to ask you this because I've got grandkids too. And what is their perception of having a motorcycle riding grandma?
Ava loves it, but I think she's more like her mother. She's not, I don't know if she's going to be the motorcycle girl, but Leah, the young one, is always on my bikes in the garage, and she's going to be like her uncle Jake, who's actually going to be racing in Daytona.
Well, that's okay. That's fantastic because I got another picture here. So let's talk about this.
Yep, there it is. That's that flatty.
Yeah. So tell me about your son. Didn't he just do the cross country chase?
He did. He did that with
Yeah.
his father. And Jake was, I have to send you this one pictures. He's actually in one, one of those, what do they call those when you hang them? And it's like a jumpy thing, but you hang them from like the ceiling or the doorway. And the
Right.
kid just is in a
The little
harness.
bungee thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a picture of Jake in a harness in the garage between a V twin, and he's right in the middle of it. It's hilarious. But
I
so
didn't you
he
talk about that on one of your shows one time when you guys
oh,
were talking about the cross country chase when he was going out there on Jason Sims' cross country chase?
I'm sure.
All right.
Yeah, and he was raised in the garage.
So everybody knows. I mean, he's going to be in Daytona. Tell everybody about the race that he's going to be in. For
He's gonna
those
be in
of
the Sons of Speed. So
Sons of Speed. So Billy
he
Lane, Sons of Speed.
yeah, he went he last year was his first year to race, and he'd only been on a track in August before that, and that was his first time ever. But he at 17 he built a panhead, his own panhead with his father, and his father lives a couple blocks away, but we're very close. We're just an extended family. We're all close. We're on the same race team now, and we'll all be traveling down together. But yeah, he was born into it. He kind of wrote this bio, which really warmed my heart and his father's to get into the chase. And he said, "Well, I was kind of born into it. Couldn't help it with a mother who's been in motorcycling for 20 something years, and a dad who, practically lives in the garage." So,
Right.
yeah, he had some really great things to say about growing up motorcycling.
Well, and I think that's a testament to the kind of person you are and your ex-husband because you raise them in a collective, and that's not always easy. You don't always hear people succeeding with that, and the fact that you have, I know you've had them both on your show and everything else, and
Yeah.
that's just a great thing to see. And I think a lot of people can learn from that example that you set, and
Oh, thank you.
and now you see
It's
the
really
product,
good.
and
It's a good way. It's a great way for all of us to live. It really is.
absolutely,
It's the best way. We all
absolutely.
enjoy each other's company, and we're just so ecstatic to watch Jake carry on what we haven't done. He's finding different paths to take in racing. I raced in Bonneville years ago. I had I had a present sent. Well, I had a box sent to me, and um, I was told by Santa Claus, Tom Anderson, up in, I think he's in Superior, Wisconsin. He said, now don't open that up until you interview me on your radio show. I said, okay, well, I'm going to interview you this week. And that was when it was only real radio. And so I took the box to the studio and I opened it up and I went, oh my God, you've got, you got the Buell Brothers sisters. You got a hat and a t-shirt and these are great. Is this a giveaway? And he said, no, that's for you. You're going to come out to Bonneville and race. I went,
That's awesome.
so
That's what an incredible surprise. Oh my goodness.
it
I
was
love
so
it.
neat. And if you know Tom Anderson, he is just a character and a half. He would take about 20 cases of old style out to the salt flats. And you know, everybody's got a tent out there and everybody's helping everybody else with their bikes. You know, it's just like the Sons of Speed or any other type of racing. It's all collective, and people are just brothers and sisters and helping each other. And I raced, and I got a record.
Did you really? I didn't know that. So
Yes.
tell us about that record.
So my record was that I was the very last person to race on Saturday. That's my record, and I'm sticking to it. I no, I went 128. I got my slip. In fact, I know it's here somewhere, it's framed. I got my slip was 128 on a Buell that was really hopped up. And the clocks were racing on the same bike. I think they were going a little bit faster than me. But for my first time getting out there, and it's so funny because on this highway out here, like I'll take my panhead out there and do 110, and it's like 128. That's like nothing. But when you're on the
Right.
salt flats, it's really something, you know.
For sure.
So yeah, it was one of those things that I said, "Oh my God, I'm hooked." And I went out there the year after, and I went out there the year after, and I got to meet Aaron Sills and just the whole racing family out there. Dennis from Bub Racing, just great people. You know, it's all these different groups of motorcycle people that enjoy, you know, that sector of it, that segment of it. It's just amazing. And I want to be a part of all of it. You can't. You run out of money or time first.
Right. So, you touched on something that I kind of want to bring up a little. You touched on everybody going out to Bonneville, everybody, bands together. They share their resources, they share their stories, they share their times, and, that pretty much encapsulates the motorcycle community. I mean, I think you've come by, at Sturgis when I'm usually doing some things. I mean, or, I've gone to other events people are doing, and it's everybody's always, everybody's welcoming, everybody's, genuine, everybody, it's about community, and it's literally like family coming together. And
It really was. I mean, look how special that was when you had the show there and people were there either to help announce or help move bikes or help get something or help give away something or help announce something. And then afterwards we were all having a barbecue. I mean, how effing cool is that?
That's a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
so we're gonna bring up another picture here. So we did this pretty recently, didn't we?
Favorite party.
So now, obviously the two of us are in this picture, but why don't you tell everybody else who else we got in this picture?
Oh my God. So just some of the favorites people. Jill Parham in the back of me on your side, on your right side.
Okay, and so for people maybe don't know who Jill is.
So Jill is with the National Motorcycle Museum in Anamosa, Iowa, and of course the Enterprise of J&P Cycles.
Right.
And I've got a quick little story for you. So when John Parham did the cycle show in Chicago, do you remember that 20 years ago?
Yep.
And that was the J&P Super Cycle Show, it was called. And I always wanted to get in there. I think I did a live broadcast for him in the early days. I traded him a pair of 49 gas tanks for a live broadcast, which was probably like $1,500 or $900 back then. This is 25 years ago. And I just wanted parts. That's all I wanted was parts. And
Right.
I did so many of those shows with John, and he was very dear to me. And he was always such an amazing, very soft spoken trendsetter in our industry. Just an amazing guy, and Jill really carries that out. I mean, to this
She
day,
sure does.
she really does. She's a trendsetter. She is icon in the industry. She's just a really neat friend. She's a lot of fun.
She's always kind and supportive to everybody around her, and I love the fact that she's taken upon herself through with other people, but her primarily spearheading encouraging young riders and people around the country, and I just think she does wonderful work. So
Oh,
who else do we have
absolutely.
in this picture?
And just preserving motorcycles that she does at the
Oh
museum.
yeah.
She just does an amazing job. So then we have you, and then we have one of my other faves, M4. That's Marilyn. She's the motorcycle media maven Marilyn, is what I
Right.
call her. So I call her M4. Then we have Jack, she's just lovely. I talk to her all the time. And then we have Jack McIntyre, who's amazing, world renowned motorcycle photographer. And then I am not sure who that guy is in the back. And don't tell him I said that.
So, well, you got Horny Mike there from Counting Cars, Counts
That's right.
Customs.
I knew that. Of course I did. I just forget his name. I know his face. In fact, I think Counting Cars, we're going to have somebody at the Ride and Bike Show, the women's Ride and Bike Show, but um, I think it's Customs.
Well, Counts Customs is the name of the shop.
Yeah. What is it?
Counts Customs.
Yep, that's it. Right. And they're together, right? Yeah.
Well, so you've got Danny, who is really this, he's the main guy, and then you've got Ryan Evans, you got Horny Mike, you got Shannon Cow. Those are the main four, and then they've had a host, a number of other individuals, that have been in and out of the show, or
And they're out in Vegas, aren't they?
Yeah, they're in Vegas. So
that's what I thought.
Next time I'll take you out to see them.
Yeah,
we'll get a
you
tour
should.
or something set up. How's that sound? All right.
I'm supposed to be on top of this.
So Gina, we decided that when we do this, we want to end with 3 different questions. And so I've got 3 questions for you.
Okay.
All right. And it's just, there's no wrong answers, obviously, to these questions. But first question, okay. What's Gina Woods' dream bike?
Wow. And I've said for years and years I'm gonna get a pan that I've had for 30 years. I've had my pan for 30 years. Got 2 bad legs to prove it. I think a knuckle. I want a knucklehead.
Okay.
That's gonna be my next bike, a knuckle. And then I'm just not I don't care if I want a newer bike just to go where I need to go fast, and get there.
Sure.
But I don't really care if it has bells and whistles. I rode a panhead without radios and horns and even a speedometer for years and years.
Gina, I'm not a radio guy. I'm give me the sound of the engine and the wind, and that's all I need.
Yeah, I still like that. I still love that. I got a radio on the street light, and I don't turn it on as much as I probably should.
Yeah, I've literally been on bikes with the radios, and I've never turned them on.
I'm gonna say knuckle. I think I'm gonna say knuckle. That's my next bike.
Okay.
I want a knuckle.
So, if you had a chance to ride with anybody, dead or alive, okay, who would you like to go ride with?
Oh, Mario. Drats. Gosh. You know, just because I was always a thrill seeker, I'm gonna probably say like Evil Knievel. 'Cause I would love to just go and do one of the just once, maybe on the back.
Oh,
But
there you go.
I probably would have done that. Probably not in the last 10 years, but anything 40 and up, or 40.
I don't know that I've ever seen anybody ever jump in it with, with the two people on a bike.
I don't know either. You think the one person might fall off or something.
I
I go
know
on really
that's kind
fast.
of interesting.
I would bungee myself on.
Hopefully we don't. We might have somebody saying we got to do that. That hasn't been done.
You
I
know
mean,
what? Maybe that starts something.
you could do a small jump over one car, and if it hasn't been done, you just made a world record, right? I mean, so there you go. We could be
I
in
can
Guinness
see
World Book of Records just like that. So
that's hilarious. I can see me doing it in the front, maybe just over like a ball or something. Do the two.
absolutely, there you go, world record. There you go.
Yeah.
So, last question. You've obviously had an opportunity to ride in a lot of places, see some beautiful scenery. Gina, where's the one place in the world that you would like to go ride?
So I was invited in March of 2019 to go to Nepal to be a reporter for a touring company,
Yep.
and we got closed down. So I think I would like to do Europe. I know Nepal is not, but I rode a couple years ago in Africa with one of the guys that took me on the back and took me into town. And oh my God, these people in Africa are crazy. In Dar es Salaam, if you're pulling up, I couldn't even look. We were going from the hotel to the airport, and I think I had my eyes closed all the time because the the cab driver was going through these intersections, and these bikes are going like this and nobody stops. And I was like, oh, oh! I thought people were going to hit people and everything. I was freaking out and I couldn't look. But then when we were in Tanzania, this guy took me, one of the resort guys, and great, great, great guys. And they really love their motorcycles, but that's very average for them. And he took me into town, which was probably about, oh, I don't know, maybe like 30 minutes away. So he's going over these ravines and through these mud that I'm sure I would have got stuck. I'm so glad I was on the back because they don't have any roads. They're just these paths. But I don't know. I think I'd like to go. I'd love to go back to Africa and ride on a tour with Alex Jackson. And I'd love to do Nepal. I'd love to go riding anywhere, to tell you the truth. I
Well,
love
that's the ultimate right answer, ride anywhere. But I think we all have, we all have these ideas in our heads, we combine a place that we want to see and experience with being able to ride it is the utmost. And, and I can tell you from experience riding Europe, riding in Switzerland or Italy is a lot of fun. And I know when I was over in Italy, if you went riding on a Harley and you stop someplace and you see a couple bikes and you might see a Moto Guzzi and a couple of different things like that. And, you come in on a Harley, you're instant hero. And,
I'm sure.
So that's a lot of fun. So, well,
I'm
Gina,
sure.
I really appreciate you coming on with us tonight. This has been a lot of fun. And, I'm wishing, another 25 years, however that has to take place. But you know what? I'd love to see it. I hope you'll come back and spend some time with us. And maybe we can do some other things, down the road. And for those of you, Gina's Open Roads Radio, tell everybody what time, they can find you and how to find you.
Absolutely. So thank you. So we're on Saturday mornings right now. We're just getting ready to change. We're on Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Central Daylight Time, and you can find us on Facebook. We've got a couple other platforms that we're getting ready to get distributed through. Sirius Radio, a Vegas station, another station here in Chicago, and then we're going to look at Florida and Arizona. We want to kind of hit the major market industry stations. I work with the Home Slice Media guys every year that we go to Sturgis. In fact, we have been the official radio partner of Sturgis in for 2019, 2020, and 2021. So that was very exciting with Home Slice. And we're doing some stuff that we're going to change to Monday nights. So I think we're going to move over to Monday nights.
Wonderful.
Just because people are so busy on Saturdays, we really want to give people a chance once they've done their weekend to kind of get the information for the next weekend or a recap. But who knows? I'm always changing.
Okay. And you're going to be in Daytona. So where can people find you there?
We at JP Cycles will be right out the front door. And I'm emceeing a couple of shows there. One at the Beaver Bar. And that's going to be Revelation 1 Concepts ride-in bike show. And then the Destination Daytona under the pavilion for the women's ride-in bike show. Those are March 9th and March 10th. And we'll be there, and I'll be at the Sons of Speed.
Wonderful. So everybody, Daytona, go out and see Gina, say hello, and tell her you saw her here on Knuckle Busters, or obviously you've seen her on her show with Open Roads Radio. So
Mario, I love that you're doing this. This is fantastic.
Well, thank you. That means, believe me, that means a lot coming from you. This is something we just thought, we thought that this was a space that, we could do some good in. And I'm telling you, Gina, thank you so much, because a lot of the inspiration to do this came directly from you. And if it wasn't for you, I don't think we'd be sitting here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mario. Can't wait to see you next. When will I see you next?
I'm not going to be able to make Daytona, so probably be Mama Tried or Donnie Smith.
Fantastic. I'll see you at Donnie Smith.
Sounds good. All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.